Hello, everyone. Welcome to our last call of February. How absolutely insane is that? So excited. All right, Mike Lynn, I might have to turn your video off so I don't feel so bad about myself right now while she's working.
Sorry.
Good. No, good for you, sister. Okay. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about the end of the month. We're going to talk a little bit about belief. We're going to talk a little bit about vision casting. We're going to talk a little bit about Magic Week and why it's magic. So I'm super excited. I love talking about vision casting. I love talking about belief. And I just want you guys to really just kind of clear your minds for this and let your mind, as I'm talking, wander into things that, there we go. Wander into thoughts and dreams that normally you wouldn't let yourself think about, and really just let the what ifs kind of take over, like in a positive manner. Like, what if this was a possibility? What if that was a possibility? I always share this part of my story that I can remember sitting at my dining room table. I was at the first chair on the side when Megan messaged me and said, I want you to write down a list of your dreams. And I mean, at this point, Millie was not even 6 months old. We were living, I was just getting out of maternity leave. We were literally robbing savings account to checking account to I was barely back to work. And it was like, we were doing it, but we weren't really doing it, right? We were okay, but I was scared to go shopping. I didn't want to buy anything. I had that just fear. And we had never been in that predicament before because we both always worked, and it was just, we made it work. And she's asking me to dream, and I'm like, how the situation I'm in right now, how am I ever gonna get out of these walls? We had just moved into our house. We had a pretty decent mortgage. It just didn't seem like, if I'm robbing one bank account to feed the next bank account, how am I supposed to dream? I don't see a way out of this situation, right? But I wrote down those a list of things, and I really wish I still had the piece of paper, and maybe I do somewhere, I don't know. But to me, they were big deals. They were, I needed a new computer. My computer was barely staying on the hinges. I wanted to pay off my school loans. I wanted to go to Disney. I wanted to, we wanted to build a house. I want to, I still want to, but to buy property in another state and have a cabin that Eric can go and hunt, but we can all go to the cabin and enjoy life there while he hunts and all the things. It was things to me that seemed so far-fetched, right? And sitting where I was, it was really hard to have the belief in those. And I just want you to sit for a minute and let your mind wander. If money is not an option, and if time is free, and you literally can sit down at the table and write something on a piece of paper and it come to fruition, what are you writing? And what feelings do you get? Okay. So your initial thoughts are going to be shotgun, just oh, I just want to pay off my debt. No, I'm not talking just your gut instinct, just oh, this would be great. No, I want you to really think what does financial freedom, time flexibility, and control look like for you? What does it look like to sit there? Okay, I'll use my scenario as an example, and I want you to relate to it. What does it feel like to have options? What does it feel like to take whatever your income is right now and quadruple it without leaving your house, without sacrificing time for money? What does it feel like to write the last check for a loan months, years before that term of the loan is up? What does it feel like to sit at your kitchen table or in church and just say, how much do you want to give this month? We're not budgeting offering and tithes anymore, right? We're, the local school has a fundraiser. We're not like, okay, so what do you think? Do you want to we could do this? No, it's an open, honest, aired question. What are we writing this for? What family are we going to bless this holiday? And we're not going to go use our free turkey to bless them. We're just going to go buy them a whole new Thanksgiving. What does it feel like to sit in church and hear a family in need and go ask the pastor or a deacon, hey, like, what can I do? And it's not that you're putting yourself in any sticky situation to do it. You can abundantly give because you have options. And it's not just the options that Plexus has provided you, it's the doors that Plexus has also opened to other streams of income, to other networking connections that you've made, that you can say, hey, I know someone, we can handle this, we can do this. I've met someone through my other job. We've been blessed by this. We're going to turn this around and we're going to pay this forward. Maybe it's your kids. Maybe there's some things you've always wanted to do for your kids and you're just like, I just can't. Schools, weddings, college, bills, apart. Like, what is it that you've just wanted to do and you couldn't? What opportunities of service can Plexus provide for you? Many, 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 many of the diamonds, okay, they fund orphanages, they fund entire mission trips. This has allowed them to serve more than they ever could have. They have the time to pack up and go overseas. They have the time to take their entire family on a vacation for 20 days. And that's time that they won't get back. That's an opportunity that they won't have if they don't take the opportunity at hand. But here's the thing, you have to see it. And you have to feel it and you have to believe it. Some of you are like, Kate, seriously, if I could just pay my credit card bill this month with Plexus money, I would be thrilled. Okay, then that's on your list right now. If you're like, I really want to own my house, then that's on your list. I want a second house. I want to buy a car. I want to give a car, donate a car. I want to start a youth group. I want to fund a missions trip. I want to go to the grocery store once a week and pay for somebody's groceries. Like, do you guys I love these. This is so random. I love when people walk around the store and they act like they need, like the videos, they act like, oh, I need to buy these for my kid. Like, can you help me? And people are like, no, 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 like, no. And then somebody says yes. And they're like, I actually don't need these. I just wanted to see if you would help me. And they hand them $20. They're like, here, you take the $20 because you were going to be willing to help someone in need. And they're like, oh, no, I don't. And they're like, no, like your heart, I'm going to give you money. Like, who doesn't want to just go to the grocery store and stand in a line with no groceries and just be like, I'm going to pay for her food. That's like paying for somebody's coffee at Dunkin' times 10. Like, would that not be so much fun? And you're not being burdened by it. It's like, no, this is what I'm living for. This is what I'm doing, right? So I want you to vision cast for yourself. What does the day look like? I'll tell you, for Eric and I, literally on Sunday morning, I think it was, he was sitting like across the couch and the only time we sit and have coffee, obviously, on the couch is the weekends, because during the week he's gone at like 5. So I was like, how's it going? And he's like, fine. And I was like, living that life, sitting on the couch, drinking coffee, right? Because that is something that we vision. Like, that is something we have emotions around, because that's not life right now. right? So what is your vision? What does life look like? And those are the things that are going to keep you going when it gets hard. Those are going to be the things that keep pushing you through those no's and through those I don't feel like it and through those hard coaching calls that you literally just want to punch me or Allie in the face. Like you're just like, these feelings suck. But those are the things that are going to push you through. It's retirement. It's like literally, can we just think about Cheryl Muller? Like, worked her butt off for 30 some plus years as a CPA, right? Retires to Tennessee, and he's making more money yearly retired than the woman did working her butt off for 30 some years. Like, they went to Tennessee on, like their budget of like, I'm going to retire. This is what we're going to live on. This is what life is going to look like. And it looks nothing like that. And she's like, I'm just living life. Roger's living his best life. I'm living my best life. And it's not that she wasn't going to be okay living her retired life. But when she saw the opportunity of what this was going to give them, she took it. And she's worked through it, and she's just vision casted it. And I know for some of you, it's hard to see past right in front of you. But if you can just take time and bring those walls down and be like, what does it look like? What does it feel like to meet some of my dreams? Yes, Irene, freedom, decisions, options, like come and go as you please. It's such a light, happy feeling, but you have to know what those dreams and goals are. You have to write them down. Yes, Rebecca Rash, moving near my family, not worrying about the cost. Yes. Yes, I always, Lisa Lokeson, I'm going to share this. I will never forget this. She was talking to me about her goals and about, I don't know if it was your mother-in-law or your mom, but they moved away and it was always a struggle to get back to see family because of cost. And I always think about that with people retiring. Like, I'm going to move down south. Like, it's such a great idea, but now you're on a fixed income, on a fixed budget. And Jean too, like you want to go see your kids. You don't want to think about how you're just like, yeah, here's $275 for my flight. Be there in 2 hours. See ya. Like, you want to enjoy that. And there's options here. And that's where you emotionally connect to these things. And then as they start coming to fruition, they just mean that much more because you know, I had a part in this vision. This is why I was doing this. This is where I'm heading. And this is what's keeping me going. This is why when people have to realign and reset their goals, right? So one of our goals was to build a new house. Thank you, Jesus. We did that. Thank you, Plexus. Thank you, husband, right? But if I don't reevaluate from there and y'all, I'm honest, it's hard to dream bigger than that. Like that, because when I wrote that down, I was living paycheck to savings account. Like that seemed redonkulous. Okay. So you have to reevaluate that and be like, okay, so like, what's the next thing? And you have to just let yourself dream silly, like childlike, silly and big, because it is possible. It is possible. And then your belief, it's going to be hard. Belief can be so hard, but that's where you borrow our beliefs. That's where you borrow the stories. You borrow my story, Allie's story, Cheryl's story, Megan's story. You borrow that and yes, Deborah Ann, I feel that to the core. Yes. And like, I know for her too, and me, like we were those people that were like, yeah, we'll have babies, but we're not staying home with them because we'll lose our minds. But honestly, it was like, that wasn't an option. That wasn't an option. So why would I even entertain that thought until it was an option? And then it was like, oh, maybe this is the life for me, right? So you have to dream big and use our belief, use our stories. and really just cling to them and create your own belief around it that you can do it. Okay, like just think about this for a second. If you're going to work every single day, 8 to 4, 9 to 5, and you're making X amount of dollars, okay, there's no overtime available, 40 hours a week, 15 hours a day, whatever, $15 an hour, 40 hours a week, okay, how big are your dreams? Because you mathematically can figure out how much money you're actually going to make at the end of the year, right? Like, you know, okay, so if I want to do this, I need to save $30,000. Okay, so if I make this much money and I have all my expenses, now I have $3,500 left every single year, and I need to save 30,000. Okay, 10 years from now, right? Because it's set for you. Plexus literally takes the lid off of all of that, and you can hyperspeed that. You can hyperspeed that. And that is so powerful. There are some of you right now that could decide tonight to turn your business around, or if you're just starting, start your engine up and get going and make $30,000 by the end of the year. Just like that. And then you're going to get your 1099 next year and be like, oh my God. Like, that is beyond possible, y'all. And I can tell you that how you feel, like, I don't know. I know this is like, everybody else seems to be doing this. Y'all, we all felt that way. We all felt like, can we really do this? But we had each other's belief. Y'all, it's weird, I'll just say, that Megan's jewels are the same people she started with. Okay, that's weird. That's an anomaly. That's not normal. We're not normal. But what I can tell you is we all agree on one thing, that regardless of the bumps and like the disbelief, we all banded together in the fact that, like, well, we're not going to stop till we do this. Nobody's going to tell us any different, and we're all in this together. That did not change. So even if my belief was wavering, there was still other girls that I was like, oh no, I forgot, we're doing this together. Oh, they're going, oh, she's going for that, I'm going for that. Oh, they're doing this, oh, I'm doing that. Like, it was that not wanting to be left behind, and that, like, for Meg, like with Megan, like we were like, oh no, this is a group of us, we're all doing this together, right? And it was, so I would borrow that belief. I would borrow Megan's belief when I didn't think I could do it. When I would see Megan paying down student loans, I'm like, she's already paid down more than I made last year. Like, what is even happening, right? But to me, that was belief building. And I was like, okay, there's room at the table for me. So you have to figure out, what does that look like? And I'm telling you, the crazier, the bigger, the better. Have that belief in yourself. I have a check on my wall. Like, this is how crazy we are, you guys. I know Megan does this too. I have a check right here written out to myself in a certain amount of money, because that's how much money I want to make in 1 month. So I just wrote the check to myself, and it's right there, because that's a form of belief. You want to build a new house, sit down and draw the plans for it. You have to believe in yourself. And you have to allow yourself to borrow our belief to do it. And then coming to the end of the month, this just ties into like the magic week, okay? And yeah, draw your picture. And if you've been on Power Hour, draw it with your crayon. Like, draw your picture of your house in West Virginia. Do it. And the last week of the month is called Magic Week. And I'm going to be honest, it's only Magic Week if you allow it to be Magic Week and you put the work in for it to be Magic Week. Okay. Allie, real quick, share what Genevieve shared this morning on Diamond Sprint about Magic Week.
Okay, so yes, today on Diamond Sprint, Genevieve was talking about Magic Week, and you guys, like, it was just so true. And so a couple reminders about Magic Week, like the majority of what happens in this business happens at the end of the month. It happens in the last minute. We talked about the Super Bowl, the literal super, like all the playoff games. Actually, I said this every single game. I'm like, literally, you could have skipped the whole entire game and just watched the last 90 seconds. Every single game was like the last 90 seconds. The last 90 seconds, there was multiple things scored. It was like, what the heck? But that is how things work. And the closer you get to the clock running out, the more you're willing to play and the more magic happens. And it's not because you didn't do anything leading up. It's because you did. You planted all the seeds, you did all the reach outs, and now all of a sudden you get this boldness. And so what we want to do is we want to run the clock out. Okay. If you are playing a game, you do not in the, the start of the fourth quarter say, well, I mean, we're kind of behind by a little bit, so we'll get them next time. No, you run that freaking clock out. Okay. You go until the buzzer sounds. Until the stroke of midnight on February 28th, you run the clock out. You go off you go off all the things you've done, every lead, every deal, every offer you have, every invite you have to give out. Okay. Every person you have to follow up with because they had a goal for the end of this month and maybe they didn't hit it yet. But you guys, I will never forget the month that I went Emerald in May 2020. We added 80 people in the last 36 hours of the month. 80 people joined my team in the last 36 hours for a total of 206 people that month. It was insanity. And it didn't feel that crazy, really. It was just like, we're just going and things are just happening. And we're just, here we go. And it was just crazy because it just like, there was no doubt that every single person going after a goal was going to hit it. There was no doubt that Emerald was coming because we were just going. We were running the clock out. Yes, Caitlin said they jumped 700 points in 4 days. You guys, that's crazy. So if you're sitting here like, well, I really want to go silver. I want to add 3 people, or I want to add 2 people and get that $50 bonus. This morning I was doing the math and I'm like, I'd like to make this much extra money this month. How many people do I need to help get started on a health journey? Just even for the $50 bonus, not even the rest. I'm like, okay, if I can help 6 people in this last week, and I get that extra $50 for every 2, I mean, I would be happy with that. I could do some things like, and so I want you to think about that and think we have a full week left. All right, run the clock out. And then I'm going to share the same quote that I just shared on our product call because it is the same thing. Okay, The Traveler's Gift. If you did not read this book yet, you add it to your list like today. It's a super quick read. It's so easy, you guys, and it's seriously, it's one of the most transforming books I've ever read. All right, but literally, this is at the end. It says, a man's greatest tragedy isn't that he lost, it's that he almost won. How close could you be if you just wait until the last day and then you add a couple people and you're like, oh crap. Imagine if I would have actually played out Magic Week, like the whole week was Magic Week. What could I have done? Maybe I would have gotten that rank. Maybe I would have gotten that bonus. Maybe I would have helped somebody else get that bonus, right? So I don't want you to play like, okay, well, no. The tragedy isn't that he lost, it's that he almost won. All right. How close are you to winning and you just quit? All right. And we have to remember that literally quit is like it's in the pathways of our brain is to quit. And we need to change it. We need to write the quit out of it. Right? And I've done it many times. I'm like, well, I'll just wait till next month. I'll just set myself up really well for next month. You want to know how you're going to set yourself up well for next month? You close out this month like a beast. Okay. You do the things at the end of this month that are going to close it out strong and are going to start off next month strong. All right. Even stronger than if you just waited until March 1st. All right. So run the clock out. And that's what I got.
Yes. And I love it. You all know I love a good sports analogy, right? And it is so true. This week is where everything you've done all month starts piling in. The follow-ups. You close out every single deal, we'll say, you've got open. Like your life depends on it. Okay. That is this week. And when you've put the work in and you've shown up and you've done those things, this is Magic Week. The strangest, weirdest things have happened. Okay. If you've been at my house for any work days on the end of the month, like literally the weirdest stuff happens in the last week, but it's not random. Okay. It's your effort. It's your showing up. It's your work. It's that vibe. I love it. Like even thinking sports analogies, real quick for a drink up, like when it's a close game, okay, it's a very close game. And I think basketball immediately. So that's just where we're going to go. Basketball court, close game. We've got like, you're down to 19 seconds, right? The other team is fouling, trying to stop the clock. Everyone in that gym is on their feet. Everyone is hyped that you can't even hear because everyone is screaming. That I literally have chills. Does anybody else have? Like that is the power of Magic Week. Everyone is on their feet. It is that game that if you leave and like you didn't have a good time and you're not inspired, it's your own dang fault. Okay, that is Magic Week. You get on your feet, you scream your face off until that last play happens. Whoever wins, wins, but we're not quitting. Like leave it on the floor, leave it in February, we are done, right? But you don't stop because you're down. You don't stop because you're down. In fact, you play harder because you're down. Okay, so I want you to vision cast for yourself, know where you're going. This is just the start of the year. Okay, we have momentum, we are picking it up, we see things. We've got leaders retreat 3 months later, we're going to convention. Like there is big things happening. Yeah, you guys, literally. So finish this month out strong. Remember, sub ship, that's it. But we're going to play until the clock runs out and we're going to play strong. All right, so love you guys. Head over to Road to Rank Up. End your month strong, guys.